I'll be honest, this isn't the kind of story you share lightly. Even now, thinking back to that night makes my chest tighten. Because it wasn't just about what we did, it was about how close we came to being caught, how every second felt like teetering on a wire above a drop. If you've ever been in a situation where desire and danger blurred into one, you'll understand. What happened on that kitchen table stayed there. At least, until I decided to tell you. It started so simply. I was reaching for a bottle of wine from the fridge after a long night out. The party we'd left was still buzzing in my ears, laughter and music clinging to me like perfume. I thought I was alone in the kitchen, but the second the fridge light spilled across the tiled floor, I felt him. Ryan. His presence was unmistakable, warm and solid behind me before he even touched me. Then his hands slid to my hips, firm, possessive, as though he'd been waiting all evening for this exact moment. My breath caught. His lips hovered close to my neck, carrying the faint sweetness of whiskey. I should have been surprised, but something in me knew. The way his fingers pressed through the silk of my dress told me this wasn't an accident. He'd planned this. Maybe I had too. In the secret corners of my mind I never admitted to anyone. The fridge's cold air kissed my bare skin and I shivered, but it wasn't the chill that made me tremble. It was Ryan's thumb slipping beneath the hem of my dress, tracing lazy circles just above my knee. My back pressed into his chest, and I could feel the thrum of his heartbeat against me, steady yet urgent. When I turned, the counter edge bit into my back, keeping me trapped in that charged space between retreat and surrender. Ryan leaned in, bracing his hands on either side of me. He didn't touch me then, not quite, and that restraint was somehow worse than anything else. His eyes locked on mine, then dropped to my mouth. From down the hall, the sound of running water echoed, the shower turning on. Our roommate, Adam, was still awake. The pipes groaned, and the sound jolted reality back into me. But Ryan only smiled. It wasn't a boyish smile. It was sharper. A promise. His lips brushed the corner of my mouth, not a kiss but something even more dangerous. The wine bottle slipped from my fingers, rolling away across the tile floor with a soft clink, forgotten instantly. His hands gripped my waist, rough palms sliding upward under the thin fabric of my dress. My skin burned where he touched, goosebumps rising as his calloused fingers mapped every inch of me. He nudged me backward until the kitchen table met the back of my thighs. The wood pressed into me, grounding and teasing all at once. His knee slid between mine, denim brushing my inner thigh with maddening precision. My hand shot out, gripping his belt loop like it was the only anchor I had. But Ryan caught my wrist before I could pull him closer. He pinned it gently against the table, his strength undeniable but tender. His other hand slipped the strap of my dress down my shoulder, inch by inch, deliberate as if savoring the moment. His breath ghosted across my collarbone, warm and steady, while the shower down the hall roared on like a ticking clock. When his teeth grazed the slope of my shoulder, I arched into him instinctively. He chuckled low, the sound vibrating through my chest. The table creaked under our weight as he bunched my dress higher around my hips, the cool air of the kitchen clashing with the heat of his hands. Then, sudden silence. The shower stopped. My breath froze in my lungs. Footsteps padded down the hallway, each one a drumbeat of panic. Ryan's body pressed tighter to mine, shielding me from view as though that thin barrier could hide the storm brewing between us. His thumb never stopped its slow circles at the edge of my underwear. His eyes found mine in the dim kitchen light, giving me a choice. We could stop now, or we could test just how quiet I could really be. The faucet turned on. Water rushed into a glass, and I gasped softly, the sound masked by the running tap. My nails dug into Ryan's shoulders, leaving crescents he'd probably feel later. Every nerve in me screamed with tension. When the faucet shut off, footsteps lingered. Then, mercifully, retreated. A door clicked shut. That was the moment Ryan snapped. His mouth claimed mine, and every ounce of restraint we'd balanced on evaporated. He lifted me onto the table in one motion, the wood groaning beneath us as a forgotten fork clattered to the floor. I barely registered the noise. The world narrowed to the heat of his hands, the urgency in his kiss, the way his body pressed against mine as though the risk made him hungrier. Moonlight poured in through the window, striping his shoulders with silver. His shirt hung open, revealing sweat-damp skin that gleamed in the light. My dress was bunched at my waist, crumpled and ruined. The microwave clock blinked 2:17 a.m., but time had no meaning anymore. Every sound in the kitchen amplified: the hum of the fridge, the creak of the table, the hiss of his belt sliding free. We froze when the fridge motor kicked on, the sudden burst of light exposing us completely. My chest heaved, his eyes locked on mine, and for a suspended moment, laughter bubbled up between us, silent and breathless. Ryan reached for a dish towel, dabbing at the wine that had spilled earlier, the red stain spreading across the wood like a secret we couldn't erase. His hands, steady now, brushed mine as he passed me a glass of water. The touch was softer than everything that had come before, grounding me even as my legs trembled when I finally climbed down from the table. Dawn painted the window pale pink by the time we gathered our things. My body still hummed with the memory, every nerve alive, every breath sharp with what we'd risked. Ryan's arm slid around my waist as though it belonged there, steadying me when I swayed. And before we slipped quietly back into our rooms, he pressed his lips to my temple. A kiss, simple and grounding, but charged with everything we couldn't say aloud. That night, the kitchen table bore witness to it all: the desire, the danger, the laughter, the risk. And even though the morning came, what happened there stayed between us, and the walls that kept our secret.